The Nazi Holocaust during World War II is one of the most researched and documented genocides, but it's not the only instance of genocide in history. The Illinois Holocaust Museum's new Spaggett Family Voices of Genocide exhibition focuses on survivors and descendants sharing what they and their families witnessed in hopes of making a difference. Joining us tonight from just outside Chicago is the Holocaust Museum's Senior Vice President of Education and Exhibitions, Kelly Zaney, and Museum CEO Bernard Cherkasov, who fled ethnic violence in his native country. Bernard, tell us why the museum is so important and why its work resonates with you.
Hello, and it's great to be with you. When I was 13 years old, my family and I fled ethnic conflict in our native land. Our journey took us across several countries and thousands of miles before we arrived in the U.S. as refugees. But our story is actually bigger than just us. It's also the story of refugees who had fled before us and passed down notes with tips for their survival. It's the story of the strangers we met along the way and once we arrived in this country who provided us support and kindness. And that kind of focus on individual stories to tell histories of broader events is what this Holocaust Museum is known for. When the survivors of the Holocaust established this institution, they wanted to remember the past and transform the future, but through individual connections by recognizing our humanity.
Absolutely. Kelly, tell us about this new exhibition and its purpose.
Yes, so the Spaggett Family Voices of Genocide exhibition really looks at the fact that genocide is a worldwide problem. It can happen anywhere, anytime, really in any place. But using the testimony and voices of these 5 witnesses from Armenia, Guatemala, Bosnia, Rwanda, and Burma, we are also identifying the common conditions amongst genocide and ultimately the early warning signs so that we can identify those signs and ultimately work, if not towards intervention, ultimately prevention of genocide.
Absolutely. Bernard, why is it so important for these stories to be shared and those of us that don't know as much about them to actually take that all in?
It's so important for these stories to be shared because when you think about the Holocaust or these genocides, sometimes they can seem hard to comprehend or they seem almost inevitable. But by focusing on individual stories of actors, whether they were oppressors or collaborators, bystanders, rescuers, liberators, or victims themselves, is when you begin to understand the history at a human scale. And that's when we can learn the lessons from the bigger event and figure out how to apply it in our own lives.
Yeah, we talked at the beginning about how we all know about the Holocaust a little bit more than some of these other genocides because history books have given us that, which is great. But being able to take even more of that in, like you said, Bernard, is where you can see more of the details and see more of the patterns and use this history like we would like to use all history to make more positivity in the future instead of repeating negative experiences, right?
Absolutely. And the Holocaust, as we know from these genocides, Holocaust happened because the world failed to learn lessons from genocides happening before the Holocaust. And other genocides happened because the world failed to learn lessons from the Holocaust. And so, as you were saying, it is important to come and learn the warning signs, the ways to intervene and interfere in genocides occurring. So, absolutely.
Kelly, how else is the museum educating the public about these and other genocides?
Sure. So we every day are working to fulfill our mission to, as Bernard mentioned, to remember the past in order to transform the future. So whether that's training teachers and students to hosting a wide array of public programming and being a place for dialogue in the community to come, hosting special exhibitions or permanent exhibits like the Spaggett Family Voices of Genocide, but also working to find innovative ways to meet the generations who come here where they are. So for us, that's been the merger of technology and historical storytelling through both holograms and virtual reality film experiences, because ultimately being able to share those firsthand witness testimonies for generations to come is really a wonderful opportunity that we want to share for decades.
Absolutely. Where can we go to get some more information and maybe get some tickets to the museum?
So you want to visit our website at www.ilholocaustmuseum.org to learn more about our exhibition and other experiences, our hours, and to purchase tickets.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate your time for being here with us tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with our trip outside to the city of Oregon.